Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 2021 Co-op Career Mode Season 4 with me, Dan, and of course my co-commentator Nick, with our graphics provided by Matt Amis and Lom1138. As always, we come to the third from last race in the season. We're in Mexico for yet another chaotic Mexican Grand Prix. Unfortunately, no replay available for this one, so we'll be riding on board for most of this race. But not to worry, because there's still plenty of action in the latter stages. Now, of course, the Mexican Grand Prix, known on this channel for being one of chaos, and it will certainly deliver today. Don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and comment down below what was your highlight of the Grand Prix. And we'll get on to the starting grid order in just a moment. And here we are. Let's see, where is everybody starting for today's race? It's a Red Bull lockout on the front row. Lando Norris pips George Russell to pole position for once. Then we're back to Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo in the Mercedes on the second row. Then we have the first of the Alpines, Esteban Ocon. He's alongside Justin Freshbot in the first of the Ferraris. Then behind them we have Guan Yu Zhou in 7th and Pierre Gasly in 8th. And rounding out the top 10 we have Radiant Slothz with a poor qualifying. He's alongside home favourite Sergio Perez. Moving into 11th and 12th, we have Antonio Giovinazzi in the Aston Martin and Nicholas Latifi. Then it's Carlos Sainz, who's serving from an engine penalty, and Max Verstappen in 14th. Then it's Lance Stroll P15, his form has slipped slightly, and Nikita Mazepin. Then it's the two Alfa Romeos of Valtteri Bottas and Robert Schwartzman on the penultimate row. And finally, Charles Leclerc and Mick Schumacher. Let's get on with this race. We're on board
Mexico
with Radiant Sloths. There is no replay available. We have to look on board with Radiant Sloths as he starts P9 at the Mexican Grand Prix. He's been overtaken by the Mexican Sergio Perez already. And now Nicholas Latifi's looking up the outside of him. Not good. Late break into turn 1. Oh, and he's crashed into Pierre Gasly. He hits him again.
Accident. Typical of the way that Radiant Slothz drives.
Justin Freshbot gets past Daniel Ricciardo as well. Good start for him. Ricciardo's gone backwards. I think he started quite high up compared to where he is now. And somehow Esteban Ocon is defended. Oh, and he's been hit. Daniel Ricciardo. He's waited all season for this. But Justin Freshbot is the first of the human players to ruin Daniel Ricciardo's race. And he will be fuming. He's thought, oh, I've gone so long without being crashed into. I've finally got the hang of driving in Formula 1. And Daniel Ricciardo, very upset. Radiant Sloths up the inside of Lewis Hamilton, who potentially also has damage from an earlier incident. And somehow gets it through the stadium section. Will he come in?
Radiant Slothz, of course, well known for being the first openly racist driver on the grid. So, an interesting press conference from him where he admitted he doesn't like people who look different. Disgraceful, you have to say.
Radiant Sloths. We're now on lap 6. That is a massive time jump. Not a lot has happened, as you can see, except he has fallen 7 seconds behind his teammate thanks to the damage. And he is getting in the way of Sergio Perez, much to the disappointment of the fans, who Justin Freshbot described as being foreign. And he's got a bit loose there, Sergio
all
Perez.
All over the place here, right? He's crashed into Perez. This is disgusting driving.
Perez,
it makes me sick.
He loses a position to Guan Yu Zhou. He will not be happy with that. Oh, and he goes loose again. Big catch from Radiant Sloths as he comes around into the next DRS zone. He will have to defend like a champion once again against Guan Yu Zhou. Somehow manages to plant it up the inside. And we had some pit stops because it looks as though he's up into 5th. I'm sure he wasn't in 5th just now. He comes around the final corner, deploys all of his ERS. Guan Yu Zhou already making gains without the DRS. He looks to the outside. Radiant Sloths defends.
Radiant Sloths pushes the McLaren into the wall and loses a tyre.
Unbelievable. Radiant Sloths instantly teleported back to the Ferrari garage. He storms out the back of the building. He has left the Grand Prix. And now we join on board with Guan Yu Zhou.
Missing a front wing, you have to say that will be affecting performance.
Yes, you could describe that as having less downforce than earlier. Safety car was deployed for the incident.
Justin Freshbot flies through the final corner and into the pit lane for a fresh set of boots, as they say, although the tyres bear no resemblance to boots.
I suppose you could say that if you do have a pair of shoes with red stripes on, they do kind of look like tyres. He comes in, he gets his new tyres. Safety car means he's so far ahead, he doesn't have to worry too much about being overtaken. Lots of double stacking
Will
going on.
Latifi, who is flying up the order, get past.
Here comes Nicholas Latifi. Is he going to overtake illegally under the safety car? Quite possibly.
What has happened to the cameraman?
We are,
as we see him now, behind Justin Freshbot.
On board with King Latifi. Daniel Ricciardo having an amazing race, just like he did in Season 4. He is currently 15 seconds behind, although he has managed to catch up for the end of the safety car period. We are just about to pass the halfway point of the race, and Justin Freshbot warms his tyres.
What can he do here?
We'll have
Coming
to
into
see.
the final section. Fourth would be a good result for Ferrari. But he'll be thinking he can beat that Alpine.
Will Lando Norris be overtaken by George Russell for once, or will George Russell just not bother as Justin Freshbot track extends and lines up?
He's ready to go here. The safety car comes into the pits.
He's missed the restart. Look how far Ocon's got ahead of him. He's in here second. Nicholas Latifi, he's going to the inside. Oh, there's going to be a murder.
Freshbot having to defend. Will the McLaren try and make a move as well?
Oh, there's something stopped on the circuit.
Justin Freshbot with an incredible move as every driver has stopped.
We're on board with Valtteri Bottas. What's going on at the back? Now we're back with Justin Freshbot. We're skipping through the order. We're on board with the Red Bulls now.
Norris down to 6th now. He crashes into his teammate.
George Russell gets past Lando Norris. Unbelievable. There is rain starting to pour down, but given the Codemasters' development for this game, it's not going to have any impact on the race whatsoever. At this point, Guan Yu Zhou plummeting down the order. Daniel Ricciardo not making any moves either. Shocking restart. We're on board now. A few laps later, Carlos Sainz has caught up. He now holds P2. Lando Norris back in P6. Unbelievable stuff.
Justin Freshbot now defending from Carlos Sainz. The speed of that Ferrari not coming in helpful as it's awful.
Carlos Sainz to the
McLaren
outside.
goes around the outside.
What could he do into turn one? They're side by side. Justin Freshbot forces the Spaniard into the inside of the corner, slows him down. George Russell gets past Max Verstappen as well. He's up into third place. Verstappen now has to defend from Lando Norris, the back-to-back world champion, defending world champion. As we watch Justin Freshbot coming into the stadium section, everyone's bunched up behind him. What could he do here? We see on track lots of cars at the back. Robert Schwartzman putting in a usual performance. He is miles behind everybody else. DRS has been enabled, emphasising my point that the rain has made no difference.
Aggressively trying to get people out of his slipstream.
Carlos Sainz doing absolutely nothing there to stop George Russell, but somehow was able to stay ahead. And Justin Freshbot also staying ahead on this occasion. Will Carlos Sainz be able to do anything? He's not going to have DRS because of where the detection point was. And no, he cannot on this occasion. But next time, he may not be so lucky. As we follow into the stadium section, once again, the DRS will be activated for the first time. What can Justin Freshbot do here to defend from Carlos Sainz, a former Ferrari driver himself, also racing a former McLaren driver. Russell's into the slipstream of Sainz. Sainz all over the place. Justin Freshbot defends all over the place. He might have got the move. Justin Freshbot up the inside, defending from Carlos Sainz.
What a move from the Ferrari. What a driver.
He's done it amazingly. He's stayed ahead of the Ferrari, of the McLaren. Carlos Sainz weaving around. He's going to look up the inside into the second chicane, but Justin Freshbot plants it around the outside and is not phased by Carlos Sainz. He gets past, somehow hanging on to P1, but he's still got another 6 or so laps to go. Amazingly though, Justin Freshbot
still ahead. Carlos Sainz looks for a move. Justin Freshbot holds it round the outside. He gives him plenty of room. He's incredible driving.
Still hanging on. Valtteri Bottas has been lost from the order, unfortunately. Robert Schwartzman also trailing at the back as we go on board with Justin Freshbot through Sector 2. Gets a little wide there. The rain still making no difference to the racing conditions. DRS is still active. Still no changes. Justin Freshbot into the stadium. Rounds one of the penultimate corners. This is his last chance.
Cheering his name. They've taken him as one of their own, as he comes out of the final corner, reaching speeds of 54 miles an hour here as he looks to defend from Carlos Sainz.
It's a good gap to Sainz. He's gaining. He's gaining. What can he do? This is his last chance to defend from Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz on the outside, Justin Freshbot on the inside, but he's somehow holding it around the outside of the McLaren. He's done it. He's got one last defensive move to make here. He goes twitchy. Is Carlos Sainz going to get around him? Oh, it's going to be a drag race down to the chicane. The Red Bull also getting involved. Justin Freshbot on the inside. He hits the McLaren, and that has solidified him into P1. Surely there is nowhere else that the McLaren get past now as we follow them through Sector 2. In he goes.
The amazing speed and pedigree of Justin Freshbot has been on show today. What a driver, you have to say.
He will,
incredible.
If he could just hang it round into the stadium section, he will become the third winner in a Ferrari and the second driver to win in a Ferrari since the start of this video series. He rounds the final corner and he will be declared.
He just needs to not spin.
He will be declared the winner of the Grand Prix.
He's hit the wall.
Unbelievable. The cost cap really going to be hemorrhaging finances from Ferrari now with the amount of damage that he's done to these cars. Carlos Sainz gets driver of the day because, of course, he does. Justin Freshbot, even though he won in a Ferrari, not able to do much. Lando Norris, once again, picks up another World Championship. I believe that is his, season 4. Oh, that is only his second. He's not back-to-back World Champion. I did spoil that earlier on. He is the champion now. And we finally see Mario Binotto celebrating with those incredibly round glasses. Justin Freshbot gets a slap on the ass from Carlos Sainz. He's very happy.
What a driver Justin Freshbot is. We are lucky to have him in this sport.
And we are just receiving this in that there are riots at the Mexican Grand Prix. It appears to be over the contentious podium awarded to Carlos Sainz. Oh, and that Justin Freshbot antagonises the crowd even more.
He shows them his big old trophy and he sprays the riots with champagne.
Unbelievable.
Disgraceful.
And there we have it. It is the season for Ferrari to win races. They finally pick up their third victory with Justin Freshbot there, one of their new drivers. He was followed by Carlos Sainz and George Russell, who joined him on the podium. Then it's back to Max Verstappen, who beat Lando Norris to the finish in an incredible display. Then it's Esteban Ocon, Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton, Lance Stroll and Guan Yu Zhou. Now, of course, as we've already seen, Lando Norris has now won the championship, so George Russell has got no chance of overtaking him with the final 2 races to go. He now sits quite comfortably ahead of Carlos Sainz. However, Carlos Sainz is now in a battle with Daniel Ricciardo, just 1 point separating the two of them. Then it's back to Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Esteban Ocon, Guan Yu Zhou, and Yuki Tsunoda just hanging on to that 10th place spot. Justin Freshbot leaps up to 11th with that victory, ahead of his teammate Radiant Slothz in 13th. Over in the Constructors, Red Bull have definitely won at this point. It's now a battle for second. Ferrari are still able to beat Mercedes, but the odds will have to be in their favour. Their main battle at the moment lies with McLaren, who are just a handful of points behind. Then it's back to Alpine, Williams, AlphaTauri, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, and finally Haas. That's all. We'll catch you in the next one.